How's it going, guys? Welcome to the second episode of our non-league podcast. First of all, I want to start by thanking you all for the support on our first episode, which went out the other day. It means a lot to you, and it's greatly appreciated. Mostly positive feedback as well. Just another one, a side note as well. I am Josh, filling in for Brad today, presenting, who's unfortunately unavailable. So, yeah, you've got to deal with me. But yes, it's been a busy, and quite a packed week in the non-league calendar, if you can say. So it all started on Monday with the Stockport against West Ham game. It was an interesting game, wasn't it? So who wants to start by having a chat about the game then?
I can.
Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. So I think it was a very good game. Obviously, in the 15th minute, you had the fireworks for those kids, which I think was absolutely class.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think the pitch, West Ham just wasn't used to a pitch like that because I think, as a commentator said during the game, Premier League pitches are like billiard tables. They're always perfect, and I don't think the West Ham were used to that, so I think that kind of threw them a bit. Stockport came all guns blazing, and I think they could have won it if they just buried one of their chances before West Ham scored. So I'll throw it over to George now, and he can chat a bit more about it.
I personally think Stockport are outstanding. Like, they play probably West Ham's best team, and I thought they were class. It's very unlucky. They were the better side. They're very unfortunate, and
we predicted it on the last podcast, didn't we?
I didn't think it'd be that close, to be fair.
Yeah,
but
knew Stockport would give them a good game because obviously the quality they've got. I know they're obviously a few leagues below, but players like John Rooney, it's always going to be a good game. They did well to keep them right till the end of the game, and unlucky to concede that goal. But yeah, obviously, Will, what's your thoughts on it?
I think Stockport gave them a run around. I mean, usually these sort of games are very one-sided towards the Prem team, but this one was really even, and it took a bit of a set piece. That was all it took between them, which shows just how well Stockport played.
Alex, go on.
Yeah, John, just adding on the on the pitch, it was just absolutely drenching it down. It was terrible, but to the end of the game, it was almost like Sunday League football, and it really could have been anyone's game.
Yeah, definitely.
At one point in the box, it was literally like pinball, trying to you've seen in Sunday League, trying to flick it out the mud, and yeah, it was terrible. So yeah, Stockport really could have capitalised on that. They had lots of chances. In the end, West Ham saw out the win.
Dan?
It was one of those games, really. Like I was saying to my dad the whole time through, he's a West Ham fan. These are the games that you need to watch out for because it's proper non-league pitches, no undersoil heating, no real proper decent drainage system, and anything could have happened. Because if you remember a few years ago, I think Lincoln beat Burnley.
That was on the mental run, yeah.
And that was absolutely mental for them because it was a Premier League team, and it just proves the magic of the cup is still there, especially with Stockport only losing 1-0 in a game which many thought it could have been 3, 4, 5-0 to West Ham. Alex?
No, so just standing on that, the pitch, obviously has a massive effect on these non-league teams. You were saying Lincoln definitely used it to their advantage on their cup run, beating Burnley, and I think they beat another Premier League side. I can't
remember. They beat Brighton.
They beat Brighton
in the Championship.
That was it.
Ipswich as well.
Ipswich as well, yeah.
So yeah, and it's good seeing these non-league sides getting so far.
It's a really good advert for non-league, isn't it? Every year seems to produce a team that can go on a run.
It's just a shame there's no fans
in the past. Yeah, real shame. Yeah.
Casey, your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was a close game, but obviously quality always shines through in the end, and obviously West Ham shown that by winning. But I think the biggest upset was that the FA Cup round last round was with the manager of Stockport actually crying about not doing an interview, wasn't it? Before
Yeah,
Sky, yeah.
Yeah, it was Sky.
And he said pre-game that his team's too good for the National League or it's a level above the National League, and he's not really proving that, is he, at the minute? But
Did he
yeah,
say that?
close
Did he?
game, obviously,
Yeah,
but
he did.
I
quality
didn't
always
seem the
shines
sort of thing he
through.
would have said. I thought it was quite a. I didn't think
He
was
said
like
that,
a cocky
but
manager. Really.
they've lost 2 games straight, and they're both cups. There are no cups anymore apart from the league. So.
And that's the thing with Stockport as well. They've spent a lot of money, and that's what I was saying it the other day as well. It could all backfire on them so badly if they miss out on promotion. I could see them going a bit under. Not like a Macclesfield, but they'll definitely struggle next season if they don't go up this year.
Definitely, yeah.
Will?
Just adding to what they said there about the cup, I think it really does. If you go too far in the cup, it really just decimates your league form. And I think Stockport, it was the right sort of time for them to almost, if they'd beaten West Ham, I mean, their fixture pile as bad as it is, but their priority this year is promotion. I mean, next season if they get promoted, they're starting round 1 anyway, so they can have more chance at a cup run.
Yeah,
But you just wonder if they'd beaten West Ham, what would it do to their league form?
Cal?
Yeah.
If we're talking about Stockport, it's interesting to talk about if they don't go up this season, what happens next season with the amount of money that they'll spend. Like, it's interesting to see if they'll spend the same amount of money as they did this year to try and get promotion, or they will not spend as much money as they did this season and try and keep some money. Because it'd be interesting to see if they don't go up, what that actually does for the club as a whole.
To be fair, they've gone all out this season. Yeah, it's a big question mark. What do they do? I personally think their manager's not good enough anyway. I reckon he is a massive issue for that club.
Dan, you got your hand on?
Yeah. So what I would say is if Stockport don't go up this year, and I do apologise to their fans and I apologise to Yeovil's fans for reminding them of this, but I can see Stockport doing what Yeovil did at the start of this season. I can just see them going on a terrible run, and unlike Yeovil, I can't see them coming out of it if they were not to go up this year.
Yeah, obviously Yeovil's was caused by a bit of a playoff hangover, so it depends. If they got into the playoffs and lost against a team that you'd favour them to win, then that could have a big effect on them after. But missing out on playoffs entirely wouldn't be very good at all after all the money they spent, honestly. I think you should be getting at least the playoffs this year.
Definitely, yeah. Will?
You look at their stadium though, and the way they're sort of redoing it. Their owner's very much there for the long term.
Yeah.
So he's not gonna. One season of them not getting promoted isn't gonna really distract him in any way. Like, they've got a plan to not only get to the Football League, but to build up in the Football League as well.
Yeah, I read one that the Championship they're aiming for.
In 6 seasons or something.
And if you think about it, they were only in the National North a couple of years ago, weren't they?
But they were only in the Championship 12 years ago.
Yeah,
whatever it was.
Yeah, didn't that owner take over a year ago as well?
A year ago
so
today.
many players,
Yeah.
That's mad. They've actually got a fan who cares about it.
Yeah, because the reason they propelled down the league last time was due to, wasn't it, money problems before. So they've got to be careful that doesn't happen again. But it seems like this owner's invested a lot in the club. Like Will said, I don't think he'll walk away.
He don't sound like a Steve Dale, does he?
No,
the old
I don't think
Bury
so.
owner.
Yeah, but you just don't know that. Anything can happen like that. 1 minute you're cloud 9, the next you're fucking trying to find a new owner.
Yeah.
So you just need to enjoy the moment a bit right now, because who knows what's happening next week. Especially for Stockport anyway.
Charlie, you've been waiting a while. Gone.
I think in the coming weeks, Jim Gannon might get the sack eventually, because they've not had a great string of results, have they? Especially getting beat 4-0 off Pools and then out both the cups. It's not looking good.
I think getting sacked is possibly a bit too extreme so far. I think see how they perform towards the end of the season, not now or not within the next few weeks at least. But fair enough, if that's your opinion, you're entitled. George, hand up.
Wasn't there a rumour that they want to sack their manager after the West Ham game? Apparently, like John Rooney and who is it, the other guy that want to play for the manager? I swear I've seen that somewhere.
Hogan, I heard about that.
Hogan, yeah. Apparently, they were keeping the manager on because he's a massive West Ham fan.
Yeah, but then didn't they tweet out saying that was
I don't really know.
true,
I don't follow that on Twitter, but yeah, that's what I heard. And he was going to be going after this game. If that's the case,
he's been there a long time. I think he was the one that took him up to League One about 10 years ago. I think he's managed.
It really depends how ruthless.
A lot of games, yeah.
It really depends, like how passionate the owner is. If the owner wants to get promotion, you get rid of him because I personally can't see them going up without manager.
But he's a manager of experience. Would it be? Yeah, would that be the right thing to do? I don't
know. Will.
I think it's failure if they don't go out this season, though. With the amount they've invested. I mean, players like Rooney and stuff, if they go up, aren't going, especially on the form they're on. If a team like Salford or someone comes in for them, you know, he's going to go straight there. They've got short-term and long-term ambitions, which is just to get out of this league. And that's what Wrexham are going to struggle with as well.
That's why in this league you need a manager who has experience and doesn't need a lot of money, aka Gary Johnson.
Casey had his hand up. Casey? No. Alex?
Alex, you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, just basically adding on what you said. I mean, you look at the squad they have, and they was actually playing very well at the start of the season, but it's just little results that they're losing to. Like, I think they're the only one of Dover's wins, and I mean they're sitting rock bottom of the table. I don't really see them getting out of that. So yeah, it's just games like that, and I mean, you look at the squad they've got. You got to look to the manager and think, why are they not getting results? And so yeah, something definitely got to be done about that in the club if they want to go up.
I think Casey's back, by the way.
Yeah, go on, Casey.
Yeah, I just want to add on to what Will was talking about their current players and owners as well, because he's talking about the owners' ambitions. But if he goes 3 or 4 seasons and he's still in the National League, then one, he's probably going to regret saying these things about his ambition of the Championship, and 2, will probably look to get rid of the club when he has a chance. And second of all, with the players, when he was mentioning John Rooney and like these players like Alex Reid and Connor Jennings, are all players that have got a number of clubs. Like they've been at a number of clubs in the past, because they're not players that settle for clubs like you saw with Rooney last season. He got promoted with Barrow and then came straight back down for the payday. And I do think if someone like Salford came in for him next season, he'd go. And obviously with that, obviously you get money from it, but it's always hard to replace the same player. Like with Notts as well. Obviously, if we could afford to spend again next season, obviously we'd probably have to sacrifice Carl Roberts, but we'd get a big payout of him. And we could afford to spend again next season and challenge. But with Stockport, I think it'd be a bit different.
Anyone else want to have their say on Stockport?
Jack and Kel and Alex.
Yeah, go on, Kel.
If Stockport, well, they're on about the plan and all that, the 6-year plan to go to the Championship, but we've heard all this before with AFC filed and 2022 and all that.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, so it really depends what really happens, because they could become another Files or they could become a Lincoln. It depends which way really it goes.
Is that everything?
Yeah. No, just as Kel was saying before, like we've seen these stories before. Like, I mean, we saw last season just before the playoff final for the Championship. Brentford manager, what's his name? Frank something. He was like, oh yeah, we're 100% going to be Premier League, And then, I mean, you look and they got beaten. So, I mean, it's very, very stupid. Managers coming out and saying that because obviously anything can happen in football. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he got the sack.
All right then, let's move on from the FA Cup and let's talk about Tuesday. Obviously, a big talking point: the game between Halifax and Hartlepool. Obviously, called off a bit controversially an hour before. Obviously, we've got two Hartlepool fans on here, so I'll let Charlie go first. What was your immediate reaction?
At first, I was quite annoyed because I'd rather get the game on and hopefully get 3 points. Attempt to close the gap on the top, but obviously we've kind of lost our momentum now. I feel like after 4 on the bounce, 4 wins in a row, and we're going to have to wait another week for the 5th, hopefully. So I don't know. I just hope that hasn't affected us too much, not having a game all month, but who knows.
Kel, anything to add?
When I first saw that the game was off, I thought it was a joke. To be honest, I was like, "Oh, good one." But when I actually saw that it was actually off, I was kind of annoyed, to be honest, because it's an hour before kickoff. We've paid the club's paid money to travel down and prepare for a match that we inevitably didn't play. But then when Dave Chandler did his interview after, he talked about how the pitch is completely different than what it was before and all that because the temperature dropped. I started to realise that we couldn't really do anything about it. And yeah, and also Halifax's game on Saturday, we should have played it there, was also called off. So I don't know what's really going on with the pitch, to be honest with them. I think they should really sort it out, but you know, it is what it is.
They've obviously got the rugby team showing as well. Dan, anything to add?
Well, a couple of years ago when Lynn were playing in the Southern League Central, we had a game against Alvechurch at home. That got called an hour before kickoff, so I can understand the frustration with Kel, Charlie, and the rest of the Hartlepool fans. But at the end of the day, what would you rather? A game on an icy pitch and players breaking their legs and everything being out for the rest of the season, or no game at all and just replay it in a couple months' time? What would you rather? It's all about priorities, really. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Will?
I think it happened a couple of years ago when Tranmere travelled all the way down, and it was called like an hour and a half before kickoff, and all the Tranmere fans were already there. And I mean, that's a waste of time. But because there's no fans, I think referees and the league think that it's okay to call it off as late as possible when it's actually not. Because if we're talking about it, Hartlepool have basically spent an entire day preparing for this, and it's not gone on. And you think, well, when's it going to get played?
Yeah.
This game, which was meant to be on the 1st of January, be played sometime in April.
It does take the mick, really, but I get where you're coming from as well, Will. Casey, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I understand why it's frustrating for the Hartlepool fans because obviously last season we had the same situation with Fire. We went up there twice, all the supporters are there and everything, and the students that came out said it's cancelled twice before we actually went up the 3rd time and played them. But I can't remember who just said it actually.
Have we lost him?
He's still here, I think. But we'll come back to him. Charlie, go on, take over.
Like Kel said, it's a bit frustrating, but looking back at Chalmers' reaction, it's probably justified because the pitch was icy, and as Dan said, I'd rather have the game off than potentially risk players getting injuries.
Casey,
Have we gone back, Casey?
If he's not to, just move on.
Yeah, go on, George.
I think, it's everyone's saying about the game being off an hour before, but like football there's only so much they can do. Like it had to be called. If it's icy, then it had to be called off clearly. But I can see why fans are like frustrated and angry. It's an hour before, but like just look at the bigger picture. You weren't there. Like imagine the players. Like I seen that there's a beef like banter on Twitter with like the players and Jeff Stelling. Thoughts on that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I think we've got Casey back now. If you can hear us.
Yeah, mate. I'm
Okay, go ahead. Go on, Cal. Hand up.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, as everyone said before, it's probably the best thing to call the game off an hour before than risk people getting injured and all that, because like we have been quite lucky with injuries, to be fair, and we don't want that to start now. And the banter between fans, I know it's all banter and stuff, but like just a special mention to their captain who did the Mbappe cry gif when Jeff Sterling said something he replied to that to 32-year-old man doing that, like how we miss.
That made my day, to be fair.
It's just a bit of banter at the end of the day. Yeah. It was a bit cringy, but it is what it is.
Well, you gotta have a laugh or you cry, don't you? As the old saying goes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone got anything else to add?
Well, I think there was only one game played on Tuesday night, Boreham and Dover, and that was a bit of a boring 1-1 draw, weren't it? So
shock result, though.
That's a shock result. Like Bournemouth should be winning that convincingly. Dover are one of the most poorest sides in the league. I actually expected Wood to win that like 3-0, but
Dover are one of the poorest sides in the entire National League, not just our division.
That's why that was a massive result, and I reckon if we played them today, we would have beat them. I think so. Tom, your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously I was shocked, but I think Dover are a side, despite having I don't think they lack a lot of quality, but they strike me as a side that sort of give 100% to their manager. Obviously, Hessin Tyler, experienced manager, always tries to get the best out of his players. But I think Boreham Wood with the quality, they should be winning that game. So, but obviously, so obviously losing Sorba, it's going to be tough for them to reach the playoff now. But I mean, I don't think Dover will stay up. But I don't think it's the sort of game you can turn up to and just expect to win, because when we played them, they did cause a few problems, really. So,
well, going back to what you said about Sorba, they still got that, and I do apologise to everyone for me about to butcher this pronunciation.
Tshimanga.
That's the one. That is the one. Thank you for saving me. They still got him, and he's a class player. So Sorba has something to worry about.
Sorba, Thomas, Tshimanga, how we say it, is the best striker in the league, in my opinion. Like they'll be fine. They'll get playoffs. It's just a one-off result that these happen, especially on Tuesday nights. Your thoughts, Will?
I think Boreham Wood are going to find it tough because Thomas, when we played them, he's their main source of creativity. He's everywhere.
He was as well.
He's very much. They're very much a big set piece sort of team, and he's got a great delivery. And you wonder who are they going to get in who can even fill that void of a player who's just moved to the Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only thing they can do is look for a player that could be in the Championship, League 1 or League 2 that's looking at retiring in a couple of years' time.
When we played Wood, Sorba was sort of the player to sort of pick them up when they sort of lost a bit of confidence. They were quiet. They were quiet in spells of the game, and when he got on the ball, you could just see that something could happen. And now they've lost that. Yeah, it's not easy at all.
Sorba was easily the best player when we played them in one of the first games of the season. He was class of the field, honestly.
I'm not surprised he got the move, though. You could just see the quality in him from the start.
Where's he gone? Huddersfield.
Huddersfield.
Yeah, he's going to Harrogate.
Yeah, I saw a rumour about him going to Harrogate. I don't know if that's true on loan, but
The
Your
thing is,
thoughts, Casey?
sorry, Casey.
Casey, you there?
Oh yeah, no, I was just with the Thomas move. I do think it's very important for Bournemouth to replace him because he was definitely their best player by a mile, and the creativity won't be there for him anymore. But I don't know who it was who mentioned it the other day, but I think someone mentioned that Bruno Andrade he was available again. I think Salford wanted him to get rid of him, and obviously he's been at Bournemouth in the past and he was quite successful there. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were looking at him for a replacement, and I think he'd be the perfect replacement for him, to be honest.
Okay. Anyone else want to say any last thoughts on the matter before we move on?
I just want to say this much very quickly. If Sorba has gone to Huddersfield. If it turns out to be a bad move and he doesn't get much game time, do you think he'll go back to Boreham?
He's already been revealed. He's going on loan to Harrogate. It's been announced this week. That's the right.
Yeah,
move.
we don't know if that's true or not.
No, apparently it's like basically done and being announced like next week. But yeah,
I don't know. I follow Championship football. Well, I don't follow Championship football. I really only ever follow non-league, so I don't know enough about it.
But yeah, Boreham Wood are one of the clubs that are always very good at replacing their players. So it'd be interesting to see who they do get in.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if Bournemouth would actually went for Tom Walker, to be honest, because we sent him back to Harrogate. He weren't very good for us, but you always know that he's got that in him, and it depends what system you play him in, though. Bournemouth would need a creativity, and he's definitely a creative player.
Well, as long as they leave Kawamia alone from Lynn, I'm happy because I can't deal with another Jamal Moses situation.
To be fair, Tom Walker last season was probably like my favourite player in the league. Not a goalkeeper. He's so good. He just did work out in knots. So I'd have him back because I love watching him, especially on the highlights.
Anyway,
Okay.
anybody else? No? Okay, Josh?
So let's move on to today's FA Trophy game. So where should we there was obviously quite a few upsets in today's games. Dan, I believe Kings Lynn were involved in one.
Thanks for reminding me, you absolute piece of...
Yeah.
Well, there's two things I want to say about this. Firstly, it's the most embarrassing performance by any Lynn side I've seen probably since at least 2014-15 when we went on a run of not winning at home for about 8 months. That was the worst game of football I have watched in a while because we just didn't take our chances. Hornchurch were all over us and it was ridiculous. And then the penalties, the players didn't even look like they were remotely interested. I mean, Gashi, his strike was good, but other than Gash, everyone else just looked like they couldn't be bothered. And it's annoying, really, because as much as I want to focus on the league, we need to get a result against a team like Hornchurch, whether it's our first team or second team. We should never have lost, but fair play to Hornchurch, especially their goalkeeper, Joe Wright. He was sensational.
Yeah, go on, Will.
Thing is, for a team like Kings Lynn, I mean, last season, Woking lost to Kingstonian in the FA Trophy. I mean, don't get me wrong, we were disappointed, but it's a very common thing to do because you put out your sort of lesser players, and you're not that motivated to win the game because you know or get a replay, or in this case, go all the way to pens because you know that there's league fixtures coming up, and your main aim is to stay in the division. So, I mean, it'll probably hurt for like a week or something, but they'll get over it.
Especially in a season like this as well, when this month, apart from last Tuesday, we're on the go every Tuesday and Saturday. It's definitely tough.
Do you see, now you're at the FA Trophy, can you see a positive in it? Because then you can play less games down focus on the league. Or would you rather be in the FA Trophy?
I'd rather focus on the league. I mean, if I could, I'd get a trophy run and decent position in the league. But now we're out of the trophy. I think we got a couple of our games coming up against Eastleigh and Dagenham and Redbridge. And I think we can go on a tidy little run of form, barring Stockport and the 2 Notts games. I think we're certainly a good enough side to stay up, especially with Weymouth, Barnet and Dover in the bottom 3. And I think if we stay up, we go professional next year. I'm not saying League 2 is possible, but you never know, anything could happen.
Casey?
Yeah, it kind of gutted me then when he mentioned the 2 Notts games in hand, because that's what I was just about to remind him of. Because obviously he's still feeling a little bit upset about today's performance, and then he's got to, especially when he mentioned that he wants to go on a little run in the league. You've still got 2 games against Notts to play, so not to upset you too much more, mate. But
to be honest, in the games where I don't expect much, I don't get annoyed. The only thing that annoys me is our set piece defending. I scream, swear, shout at the telly every week with our set piece defending. It's annoying. Anyway, Tom?
Yeah, I was just thinking, I think it could be a positive for you, because obviously there's already a bit of a gap at the bottom, and you just need to sort of focus on the league to pick up as many points as you can. With obviously Weymouth not picking many points up at all, and obviously, like I was saying before this podcast started, Barnet got a new manager in with Tim Flowers who can get results. So you need to sort of pick up results at the same time, otherwise, because it's important for you to stay in this league. Because if you went down, it'd be very hard to come back up.
We need to get above Dagenham and Chesterfield.
Yeah. I feel like Chesterfield's a bit like big, because I think Chesterfield are going to piss their player, in my opinion.
I think it's crucial for Kings Lynn to sort of try and stay in the league.
Because
if they go down, it's
Barnet have a chance to stay up. I reckon Barnet may push for it in the end. So if Barnet stay up, Kings Lynn will go down. So you just need to start picking up points.
George, please don't say that.
I'm sorry, mate. I'm being real with you.
It's the truth. We need to learn real. We need to be real, because, like today, I'm going to probably lose a few mates at Lynn if they listen to this and hear what I just said. But you need to be real. You need to have truth in it. You need to look at the facts. You need to look at what's happening. And it's no good just BSing your way through it. You need to be real. You need to criticise when you can. Constructive criticism always helps, but today I just couldn't see any way other than going full on mental, because I was embarrassed. Missing 3 penalties.
Dan, I got a question for you as well. Do you reckon you have to sack your manager to stay up, or would you keep him?
No, I would never sack Ian Culverhouse, because
I think he's done a lot for Kings Lynn, hasn't he?
Simply what he's done for us. In his first season with us, he got us to a playoff final. Don't quote me on this. I heard rumours that he had a bit of a falling out with Steve Cleeve and left. Came back to Lynn. We were 21st in the Southern League Central. He got us up to second. We finished about 10 points behind Kettering, and we won the playoffs. And then he won us the National League North, and that man is an absolute hero for Lynn. That is what I would say, but I don't think we should sack Ian Culverhouse, no. It would just be a kick in the stomach for
I don't think there's any need for you. I don't think you've had a bad season, really, have you? You've picked up points.
No. For our first season in the National League, especially our first game against Yeovil, which I think a lot of Lynn fans were assigned to the fact that we'd lose 3 or 4-0 and then beat a Maidenhead a couple of days later. I think it's been absolutely massive for Lynn. We beat Port Vale, which, yes, isn't much of a flex, but we beat a league side in Port Vale. Despite the result, we gave Portsmouth a somewhat good go. We've just got to take these games one at a time. We've got to look to it. We've got to just try and grind out results. That's the only thing we need to do at the moment. And get another goalkeeper in, definitely. Because if Archie Mayer gets injured, we're done for. We can't afford Archie Mayer to get injured, especially in the first couple of minutes of the match when we don't have a backup keeper on the bench. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling on, and Will.
I think Lynn are quite lucky. This is a season where only 3 teams go down because they don't really have to look over their shoulders that much. I mean, the bottom 3 aren't picking up any points. Weymouth lost to Darlow today.
Yeah, I was going to address this. Weymouth, obviously another National League side to fall to
Yeah,
Darlow.
but they're dreadful. They're not National League level. They are the worst side in the league.
They've really struggled on their return to National League, haven't they?
And the fact, what I'm enjoying about me is they're training another 2 days a week. They're playing 4 days a week now. Like, I
think they, like I said, this last week. I think they've come up too quickly.
They come up too quickly. I reckon they're the shittest team in the league. Even Dover and Barnet are better than them. I'm saying
at
that
one
right
point when they played us, I thought they might have had something because they gave us a good game. But since then,
they've got to have something. They beat Stockport. They have to have something in the locker.
Yeah, but I don't think Brian Stock's the right man at all. I think they need to at least get someone with experience if they want a chance.
Yeah. Is Weymouth a part-time or full-time?
Part-time. They're part-time, but they're training 4 days a week.
Time. Let's just take a second to look at the facts. Weymouth came up from the Southern League South in 2019. They won. Did they win National League South or did they win the playoffs? They won the playoffs.
No, we won the league.
I was going to say it was either Wealdstone or Weymouth. There's too many W's going around. But if you look at Wealdstone, they're 14th in the league now, and Altrincham are up there. I know that much. They're performing brilliantly, and then you got Kings Lynn and Weymouth who are lagging behind. Is this an issue that both teams need to address because they could use Weymouth and Wealdstone and Alty as a back marker for what's happening?
Well, I wouldn't say we were performing brilliantly, by the way.
You've just played more games, haven't you?
Yeah, we were on 16. We had a lot of. We think we played the most games. Well, we've had a few postponed lately, but I think lately we've just been. I mean, obviously we've played great teams. Played Hartlepool, and then we had that 3-0 loss to Notts. But yeah, I don't think we've been playing very. I mean, especially in the Hartlepool game in the first half, I think Kel and Charlie can say that we was absolutely terrible. It was like we'd never played football before. It was literally one of the worst half performances I've ever seen.
Sorry, you continue.
Yeah, and then so yeah, no, I think I'll see our season's really. It's not really the points haven't really where we are haven't really said our season. I mean, it's been very poor, if anything. So we definitely need to pick up.
What I would say about Wealdstone very quickly, and then we'll let Kel and Casey talk. What I would say about Wealdstone is easily one of the best sides to come to a Walks this season, and that's saying with teams like Bromley and Torquay coming over, easily one of the best sides I've watched at home. Well, watched on the TV, but yeah, at the Walks, because they just ground out the result, 3-2 win. Kings Lynn could have won it, but they were just that extra mile better, and they just played brilliantly. And I can't say anything other than fair play to them.
You were saying about being keeping it real earlier, and I mean I'm gonna get a lot of hate for saying this, but I mean over the course of this season, I don't think I've seen one convincing win like that we've properly deserved. So even that Weymouth game that we won 2-1, even then we started off poor, and even though we wasn't top a bit, but I mean it was always a bit shaky, and so I think this season we have been very much overrated, very overrated, because we have got a few lucky results. Obviously, we've got the goals for a reason, we've got the wins for a reason, but we have looked very shaky and not really had a convincing win.
If you stay up, you've got to go professional, in my opinion.
Yeah, hopefully we can. Hopefully we can. I think that'll be great for the club and great for the fans. But yeah, time will tell.
Yeah. Anyway, should we let those with their hands up talk? Who had it first, Casey or Jack or Kel even?
Go on, Casey.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm glad Alex mentioned the word overrated in his little bit there, because out of all the 4 teams that have came up, I think Weymouth and Kings Lynn's position in the leagues are the most realistic, because all of them are rubbish, in my opinion.
Definitely. I agree.
Outy's league position is just so deceiving, because when they came to Meadow Lane, they were awful. They only did because of the run of games they had.
Plus, they played the most games in the league.
Yeah, they played the most games in the league, exactly. Wellstone, when they came to us, it was like a one-way traffic for the whole game, in my opinion. We had like 27 shots on goal. I think the only reason it stayed 3-0 was 27 shots on goal, and only 3 went in, and I think that was down to the goalkeeper, which they don't have anymore.
Yeah, I can back that. Istead, I think he got save of the month in all of English football for that double save. I think he kept us in the game. It could have been 5 or 6 or 7. I think our colours really showed at Notts.
And yeah, that's what I mean, though, because since he's been recalled, I don't think Wellstone's been very good at all, and they were good defensively. Well, suggestively good defensively, but I just think that was down to his saves that made him look good. But yeah, like I said, I think Weymouth and Kings Lynn positions in the league are the most realistic out of the 4 that came up.
Definitely, yeah. I'll have to agree with you there, Casey.
Cal, go on.
I think, in my opinion, we need to cut the 4 teams that have came up this season a bit of slack, because it's a completely different quality between the National League North and National League South and the National League, because of the fact that the quality is just much better. And for part-time teams, I know Wellmouth's planning on going full-time, but I think we need to cut them a bit of slack and see what happens, because no one's really relegated. I'll be interested to see what Wellmouth do against us on the 23rd, because we are at their ground, and I feel like they're going to sit back and try and put pressure against us and put us on the counter. That's what I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest. I'm not going to lie.
Tom?
Yeah, just on Wealdstone, I think we played them just after Notts played them, and when they played us, they were probably one of the best attacking teams I've seen. Like, the first half, we started off quite well, and then I think they sort of controlled the rest of the first half, and going forward, their passing was really good, like fast. But I think, and then second half, we got the 2 goals, but I think that was just them being part-time. But it's a bit odd that the Notts game, they were obviously really poor, and then we played them really good. I'm just surprised.
Our attacking's all right, but our defence is just absolutely terrible. I mean,
you were solid first half.
Yeah.
And then
I've seen some bad like defensively in like this season, but I think the worst of all was that Hartlepool game. I mean, that was just, oh my god. It was just like Sunday League, but worse.
Okay. Will, quickly, then I'll move on to Charlie.
I think what Kel was going about the promoted teams is kind of because over the last couple of years we've had some very good promoted teams: Salford, Harrogate, Torquay, Stockport, Woking, all sort of found a name in this league, and Salford and Harrogate are in League 2 now.
Mm-hmm.
And last season, the teams that went up were a bit of a shock. I mean, no one at the start of the season would have expected Weymouth, Wealdstone, Kings Lynn, and Alty.
No.
Yeah.
But that they sort of, I think the points per game plays into that as well. Because York could have gone up, and Wealdstone were at the top, but there was still, anything can happen in football. So,
well, York were 2 points clear of us in the National League when it got suspended. They were on 66 and we were on 64. They'd played 34, however, and we'd only played 32. Which means we got 2 points per game, and I believe York got 1.99. So 0.01 points separated us two.
Don't get me wrong, you all deserve to go up, but it's just a question of what if. Like, also the quality of the leagues at North and South was a lot better in previous years. A lot of the teams have worked their way up, and now we're sort of getting to the point where the teams every year, there's a gap starting to grow between North, South, and the Conference Prem.
Well, yeah, because if you think about it, York and Boston, two ex-league clubs in the north, but you used to have likes of Stockport won it in 2018. No, wait, was it 2019?
2019.
Yeah, it was 2019. God, 2021's making me lose track. And you also had other teams who I can't remember, but Harrogate won
Salford.
it. Salford, Harrogate, and they've been absolute class in League Two. I mean, Harrogate, 13th, 12th now?
Yeah, mid-table-ish.
No one would have expected that. You'd have half expected Barrow to be towards the top, but I think they're down the bottom.
Be honest yourself. I expect the Barrow to come back down straight away. I don't know what we're doing.
No, I think he's. Is he
I'm
talking
just
about
talking
in the
about
conference?
like.
Or?
No, I'm just talking about teams who go up automatically and teams who go up through playoffs. You'd expect the champions to do better than the playoff winners. That's what I meant.
Oh.
I don't know much about those teams because I didn't really follow the conference proper until we came in it. So, pardon my stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I think Barrow will sort of become in the top 10 team anyway. Harrogate got into the playoffs the year before, so I think we expected them to sort of be up there.
Oh, okay. So, shall we move on to the one more FA Trophy game we'll have a chat about? It's the not Stockport game. Obviously, probably some may have said the tie of the round, given where both sides are in the league. It was quite a close encounter. I'll let Casey talk. He's obviously the Knox fan.
Yeah, it was a game that took a while to get going. Actually, it was only till the 25th minute. I think both sides had their first proper attack, and then obviously we went 1-0 up through Jimmy Knowles, who was a very strong performer today. And if he played Tuesday night, it wouldn't surprise me if he started. And then they equalised straight away through our weakness, which is defending set pieces. I don't know how many times we've done it this season, and nothing seems to change. I just don't know what the players are doing from set pieces at the times. It's like they all fall asleep. But then we go into half time at 1-1, come out in the second half, and then Enzo Baldwin goes off with a facial injury, if you like. And then the match winner comes on, and Carl Wootton, he's always got a goal in him. And the goal was a massive deflection, which took it in. But to win the ball back in the way he did and then strike from range, it was perfect. And we definitely needed it with the run of games that we've got coming up as well.
Okay. Dan, anything to add?
Well, I was watching, as well as the Lynn game, I was watching BT Sports Score on my phone because Cleve said on commentary that they were covering the Lynn game on there. So I just thought, sod it, I'll be a sad and watch it. And the lady that was covering, I can't remember her name, the lady that was covering Stockport and Notts said that it was a very boring game. And, well, that is exactly what she said. She just said at the start, it's a very boring game. And both teams just look crap, but not in as many words. I don't know if you'll agree, Casey.
I wouldn't say it was crap. I think that's just I don't know what she was watching if she thinks it was crap. But
she didn't say that in as many words, but it's what she's getting onto.
At the end of the day, right, we win the trophy. Like, they've got other priorities to win the league. Like, they're not going to field their best lineup. They're not going to try their best. Like, it was always going to be like a game like that. The trophy always like that, like for the top sides.
I believe though. I thought Stockport's lineup was a lot stronger than what ours was in terms of what they put out compared to us. But
none of them were really strong though. It's true, like John Rooney, Hogan.
Yeah, I agree. To be fair, but I don't think it was. It wasn't a bad game. It just took a while to get going. But yeah, I don't know what she was watching if she thought it was as bad as what you've made it sound, Dan. To be fair.
Anyone else? Anything to add on the game?
I don't have anything else to add.
I believe, Charlie, you were watching Maidstone versus Dorking, also in the trophy, and I believe you had a bit of a story to tell us with how you accessed that game.
Well, I bought the game, and it kept cutting and freezing, so I stopped watching it. And to my surprise, it carried on YouTube. So a bit gutted that I paid £7.50 to watch a free stream, but the part where I did watch it was good. I mean, 3 goals and a penalty save. Juan Luque is quality. I tell you what. I think he's played for Dagenham before and Bromley, but
yeah,
quality.
Anyone else want to chat about a game that they watched?
I just want to mention Bath City versus Peterborough Sports.
Yes, I was getting obviously another upset Bath losing to Peterborough Sports.
How many leagues apart are they?
Just one, I believe.
Does anyone know? Right.
Just one. I think they're in the League 7 Premier Central, I believe.
Oh. Yeah, they are. There was a second at the. I can't find the table now for it. Never mind. Continue.
Yeah, but Bath, they're not a strong
great
side.
Season, are they? No.
They're not a strong side this season at all. So, I believe Peterborough Sports, weren't they up towards the top of the table last season? I may be wrong with that, but I believe they're one of the strongest sides in that league. So
they were top, I think.
Yeah, so maybe it's not a massive upset, but obviously the league below they've not playing consistently like Bath are. So it's just Bath. Sorry, go on.
If you think about it, Peterborough Sports are in Division 1 Central instead of Premier Central in 18-19.
Yeah.
So if they could have gone up last season, it would have been a bit of a rise for them. But with step 3 to 6 looking like it's going to go null and void again, I don't think they're ever going to come up because I don't think they're ever going to complete a full season.
Yeah, it's frustrating for those teams in the league below.
Yeah.
It is. Will, I believe you, like myself, are watching the Hampton game against Ebbsfleet. I'll let you say your thoughts first.
I was impressed. I mean, for a free stream, it was really, really good. The commentary, the insight, the sort of... I mean, 830 people watching. That's more than Hampton's average crowds with fans.
Yeah.
So they're obviously doing something right. And it sort of goes to show when you've got a good media team and a good group of people commentating on the game, how much interest it can bring, because just look something to watch, you know.
Yeah. I thought the game was pretty tight between two obviously very strong sides. I may have been a bit too critical last week on Ebbsfleet on the podcast, so I do apologise for that because they're actually really impressive today. And a draw, if it was sending the draw, if it wasn't for the late goal, then you probably couldn't have complained about that because they were actually pretty strong. They created a lot of chances. Alan Julian again made some decent saves to keep us in, and then we obviously snatched a late winner through David Fisher. So yeah, it's massive 3 points to us, and obviously we keep looking to stay in that playoff race. Tom, your hand up?
Yeah, just a question for you, really, Josh. I mean, on Hampton, obviously, the last couple of years since your playoff final, sort of been, I don't know, they've been sort of building years since sort of trying to get back to where you were that year. Obviously, signing Valette from, he was at Barnet last for 10 years. Obviously, Julian in goal. Do you think you have sort of a good chance of finishing in the top playoffs or going for the title this year, even?
Title maybe just a step too far because I think your Dorkings and your Dartfords,
St Albans
too. They've obviously only lost one game. They're like those three are probably the 3 best sides in the league at the moment, in my opinion. Playoffs, I think we're looking pretty comfortable for, especially if we keep up the decent form we have. Away from home, especially, been pretty strong. Our home form's starting to turn slightly because it's been pretty iffy. But like you said, since the final defeat to Braintree, 3 or 4 seasons back, it's been a rebuilding because obviously Dowson left.
It didn't help that your whole squad got taken away.
We had
as
to
well.
obviously start.
Did you have a decent season last year? I can't remember. I didn't.
Yeah, we were a few points outside of Dorking for the last playoff place when the league was PPG. So that was frustrating. But yeah, I think we're in a good position this season to hopefully look on and get in the playoffs. Okay, so I believe there's some questions we had from the last podcast. If anyone wants to go through them.
Yeah, hang on, let me just do it. Down Twitter. The first one's here. Who's the better signing? Street, Reed, Effiong, or Armstrong? Personally, I believe right now that's a bit too early to call. You'd have to say Armstrong because he played more games. But I think Effiong and Street and Reed would all be beneficial.
We need to see who Street play first.
Definitely. But they all look like they're going to be decent.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
What's your thought, Jason?
I don't know. Listen, like I said earlier, I just think the announcement of Street was rushed, and I think that was due to not announcing Effiong earlier in the day. And I just don't. I don't think you can. I don't think you can sit there and say reasonably that if you had to order them up right now, Street would be.
Yeah, he would be loud. Definitely, he would be 100%. Because on paper he's never played men's football, but like we were looking for someone like that. Yeah, we should have gone for more experience, but all we've heard is good things about Street, but we've just got to wait and see.
I would have liked Ruben Reed personally, so I think that's a great one for you.
Ruben Reed,
Gary Johnson hasn't got a great past with Reed. Apparently, they've fallen out, so that was written off already. But yeah, I think that's a good signing for Yeovil. Obviously, they've lost Doofus, so good replacement.
What's your best 11 currently in the National League? At this moment this season.
Sorry, Dan.
Well, I'm not going to go with best 11 here, but given from what I've seen of him, I'd have to put Luke Armstrong up top.
Luke Armstrong, he played what, a month?
I know, but he has just been. I believe he scored in every game. Is it?
I'd put Barrett up from
every game apart from one. 6 goals in 6 games.
Yeah, who was that? Who was that one against? Who was that one against?
It was against Walker, actually.
Yeah.
I put Barrett up.
I'll give it that one.
Thoughts on that?
All I'm saying is Jacob Mendy has to be left back. That's.
I think we agreed.
No.
Didn't we?
There is no better. Maybe.
Yeah, we agreed on that.
I reckon you have to put. I'm going to be biased now. You have to pick Carl Cameron, Conor Lemonhead Evans, and you have to put Whitfield in. That you have to them three. We're top of the table. Thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Evans and Whitfield. Yeah.
I would love to use my bias here and put Archie Mayer in goal just for this one reason. Yes.
Hello?
But because
where are you?
Although Kings Lynn
how many goals have you conceded, mate?
Just hear me out.
All right.
We've conceded a lot of goals. I'm happy to admit that, but a lot of them I can blame on the defence. But Archie Mayer has made amazing saves for us all throughout the season, especially against teams like Port Vale. I think he made a few decent saves against Hartlepool. Torquay was best keeper on the pitch out of the two.
I was impressed with Kingsland's keeper when we versed him. Yeah, he was very impressive. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'm probably using my bias here, but I do blame a lot of our goals on the defence instead of Archie Mayer. And to think he's a 21-year-old, I don't think he's played much professional football. And coming into a professional league, I think he's done absolute wonders for us. But I'm just using my bias card here.
Who'd anyone else put in goalkeeper? I'd probably say
Weymouth's keeper. I'm not sure of his name.
Just Ham, probably. Just Ham's class.
Nah, I'd use my bias.
Elliot Justin, yeah.
I'd use my bias and put Craig Ross in there just because
I'll go this season alone.
Ooh!
I personally
King's
go for
Lynn
the
keeper.
Sutton
It's the
keeper.
best I've
But
seen.
obviously, I think he had
Either Craig Russell or the Sutton keeper.
Yeah, Bouzanis or whatever his name is. Yeah.
I think Weymouth's keeper's in for a big shout. I mean, I've only watched him one game, but it was absolutely.
I think he left though, didn't he? He's not
he
there
left?
anymore. Yeah.
No. That's a massive loss for them. I'd put just Ham in there just because that is the best meal deal. Just Ham.
In all fairness, right, he was probably the best player on the
He's a
pitch.
consistent keeper though.
We
Yeah,
should have
every
scored
year
like
he's
2 or 3
up there.
goals, but he was outstanding on the place.
I must admit, I'm not looking forward to facing against Ham next week because from what I've heard from people in group chats and stuff, he sounds like a very, very good keeper.
Yeah, I'd say he's a game-winning keeper. I think.
No,
Dagenham sort of get the
He
first
does.
goal.
He does occasionally have stinkers though.
But
Like
I
against what?
personally say that the
For
way
this league,
class as well. I've seen him known for about 3 years now. He's so good.
I disagree.
Not
I
Casey.
disagree. I disagree. I don't think he's very good. And if you want evidence as to why, you just go on Notts County YouTube channel and watch him get lobbed from 50 yards by a 38-year-old midfielder who's probably not got many.
Oh no! Yeah, I know what you mean. I've seen that too. Anyway, yeah, who do you have at right back?
Dion Kelly Evans.
Don't think I know who that is. Oh,
Yeah, I agree.
I thought Halifax's right back was good. They seem to rave over him.
Dion Kelly Evans, you get an 8 out of 10 from him every single week.
Halifax's right back has been absolute class. He was brilliant
Jeff
last
King.
week. From what I could see, amongst the
Through
fog
the
and
fog.
everything, he was good for us. Good for them even. He kept us out. He was a solid player. That was in the first half only. I couldn't see him in the second half because he was on the other side of the pitch. But still,
who do you have the 2 centre backs?
Cole Cameron.
Carl Cameron has to be there.
Yeah, Cole Cameron.
I think Ryan Johnson from Hartlepool, with the amount of goals that he scored and also the amount of clean sheets we've had this season, I think he's in for a shout. That may be a little bit biased, but see the amount of goals that he scored.
Did he play? Did he play against Torquay?
No, we didn't sign him. Yeah, we signed him a couple of days after that. So the Torquay game doesn't really happen. Yeah, and like the amount of goals he scored from a centre half, I believe he should be in there. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I can go with that as well.
I'd probably go with. I think Will agrees with me. Probably Cheek up front.
Yeah,
Very consistent.
Yeah,
No, I'd have Ben House.
I don't know. Is he still playing now, or is he injured?
He's sort of faded a bit.
No, he's been injured,
but
hasn't he?
Cheek's consistent. He's been at his level for since he came with
We're
Braintree.
on about this season, aren't we? This season, Ben House.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying Cheek has been consistent this season. I think
Carl Wooden is arguably a football league player, though.
He is, mate. He definitely is, 100%.
I mean, in the game I watched him against Wildstone, it was almost unfair. Like every single time he got the ball, it was like a man versus like 12.
Who you on about?
Carl
Wooden.
Yeah.
Just don't give him a penalty.
I watched him on BT Sport, mate. He's good. I'm scared about him next week.
Yeah, but the Stockport commentator today kept every 2 minutes he was talking about the interest from the football league clubs about him. Like, just don't remind us, mate. Jesus Christ.
If you get rid of him, you won't miss him if you've got maybe Effie on.
Oh, mate, please. I don't know about that. I like the look of Effie on, but bloody hell, can't.
Yeah, no, we know. You're in Effie like a married couple, mate.
Mate, just wait till Saturday when he scores that trick, mate, and it says.
I can't wait for Bob Sweet to show you how it's done, mate.
Oh, if he scores the winner, that would be so good for me and George.
Oh, mate, it'll be a consolation goal at best.
Anyway, he'll take a
agree with
penalty.
that is Tom left, George left.
I'm not leaving, but I'll take like a man. Tom will leave though. Honestly, who would you play?
I'll take a point.
Who would you play
I want to
midfield?
win, but I'll take a point.
Midfield. Can I just
Rooney has to be there.
put a suggestion for left mid?
Who?
Centre mid, yeah. Go on.
Centre mid, Harry Beauty. Man.
On the left, I would put. Although he's rumoured to be, it's all but confirmed that he's left for Harrogate, I'd put Simon Power because he's got the pace. He's scored some beauties this season.
Who for?
Lynn. He's so fast, Christ. You wouldn't catch up with him.
But should he be in team of the season so far?
No,
I don't know about that.
For me, you have to put in Beauty Man. You have to put in
Lemon Hay Evans has to be in.
And Ferdinand.
Beautyman, definitely.
Venue has
Beautyman's
to
probably
be
one
there,
of the best
sentiment.
players in the league.
Who?
Beautyman.
Yeah, best sentiment. No.
I saw Beautyman's linked to Gillingham as well, so he might not actually be here much longer. Depends.
He's being linked with Yeovil at some point. I read somewhere he was linked with Yeovil.
What are you saying, Casey?
I can't look past the centre mid position and not mention Ruben Rodriguez for us because he's absolutely brilliant. He's absolutely fantastic. He should not be in this league at all, and I don't think he'll be next season.
Didn't he get offers from Eredivisie or something?
Yeah, he did, and he came to us, and just like today as well, 75th minute, the keeper's caught it, he's pinged it long, and Rodriguez has like got glue on his boot. It's just stuck to him. It's just like, how has this boy ended up here? He's not here next season. No chance.
If we're on about midfielders, I think we have to talk about Nicky Featherstone from Hartlepool. He's not really a goal scorer, but it's just the way that he creates the game that he wants to play, to be honest. If he wants the game slow, he makes it slow. If he makes it fast, he makes it fast. I'll be surprised if he's had the most touches in the league, to be honest. So that's what I would say.
That's Evans, I think. I've seen that stat the other day. Who would you have on the wing?
On the wing, I can't.
Barrett?
Yeah, Baldwin.
I don't know how much will agree with me for this, but Jamal Lowes has had a good season.
No. You can't put him in.
Not too this season. No.
Too soon.
Can't put him over Whitfield.
I'll go Barrett and Whitfield.
Yeah,
for me.
Barrett and Whitfield.
They're not finding anybody who have.
God, this proves how much I know about this league, doesn't it?
Ben Howes or
Cheek for me.
Or Ben Howes or Cheek. Or even both of them. They're both unreal.
Should we move on to the next question now?
The next question. Should we do the questions next week as well? Because I don't think we have much time to do.
Yeah, probably go with one more question.
Go one more question, then we'll close it out.
Anyone but the current three going down from the National League? I reckon Kings Lynn. Let me have a look. Yeah. Who would you guys say? Anyone but the current three?
I'd
go for it as it was, as it is.
I'd say straight right now. Dover, Barnet, Kings
I think
Lynn.
Barnet will give it a good go.
Anyone but
Flowers, but I don't know if they'll have enough.
I don't think Barnet will.
I can't see anyone but the three that's at the bottom now going down.
I think they're in a lot of trouble.
Tim Flowers has too much dignity to get Barnet relegated.
To be fair, haven't Dover just got a result against Wrexham?
No,
they lost 3-1.
Lost.
Oh, they lost, yeah.
They give it a good go, like I
Dover,
said,
Barnet.
They just don't have enough quality.
Kings Lynn. They're just,
I'd go Weymouth, current bottom three as it is.
If we want to stay up, we need to get our defence sorted out. We need to get everything sorted out on the team if we want to stay up. I think we got it in it, certainly. I think all the teams that are down there, apart from, I think Weymouth's got in them to possibly stay up if they can pick results up now. Sorry, I've gone a bit breathless then.
But I think it probably will be between Barnet and Kings Lynn for that last spot, I reckon.
I think
that surprised me.
I think we can just edge them out.
Can I just make a request that we also address the question of the best players in the league, because that caused a bit stir in the chat earlier.
Best player in the league. Which one? The one
that was because people answered it off like current form, but the question actually
What
was
do you mean?
like
Yeah, in general, yeah.
In general, yeah.
I'd probably go for Cal Roberts. Yeah,
I'd go for Cal Roberts.
Cal Roberts, yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob Bendy.
Yeah, 100% Cal Roberts.
Cal Roberts or Whitfield.
Top form. And...
Them two are not.
Oh, you can't even. George, don't even, mate.
No,
Whitfield is up there.
Them two are up there. Them two are too good for this league.
You can't put them two on the same level, though. There's absolutely no chance. One's a Port Vale reject. One is a Port Vale reject. The other's getting interest from Peterborough. There's just no question about the level.
Port Vale reject.
Just wrap it up there. Come on, that's a wrap.
All
Well, I'm
right.
just saying, Jacob Mendy.
On that note, guys, thank you very much for tuning in for another episode.
Good
Hope you
boys.
enjoyed it.
Tweet the Twitter with more questions for next week.
Yeah, we'll leave the Twitter in the description of the YouTube video and on the Spotify. So drop us any questions if you have any. Thank you much for tuning in and sticking with us if you have. And yep, again.
Just quickly, Josh, can I just put in a quick shout out?
Go on.
I want to put a shout out to Luke last week, getting it all the technical side all sorted out. Despite having a busy week himself, I just want to say thank you to him.
And Josh, because Josh done the editing.
Yeah, and to yourself, Josh, as well. I forgot you did the editing.
Boys.
And thank you.
Yeah, I want to echo that, Dan. Thank you very much, Luke. Props to you. Again, thank you for listening and for tuning in. Leave any questions or feedback down below. And yeah, I hope to see you again for another episode very soon. Thank you, guys.